Hi, and welcome back to another installment of Arcadia Fallen. I am full of vim, vigor, and loads of Chinese food. I just hit up the Chinese buffet here about 20 minutes ago, and I'm feeling right comfy. So that means it's time to settle in for what I imagine after the last installment is going to be the climax of this here visual novel, and I don't see a lot of reason to sit here farting around about it. Let's just get to it. We got the party together and we are going to jump in. Chapter 7, we've chosen to choose. You and your companions walk into the town square. All around you, homes are on fire, and the sound of distant screaming is ever present. Someone else is already there in the square.
Kim, please, we have to go.
Oh no.
No.
Oh, Kim, I don't know. Don't be a hero. I don't know that this is where you need to be. I mean, you are like one day into this whole magic training thing.
My brother is still in there. He has to be.
Oh, we're just jumping right to it, huh? We're just gonna jump right into it.
Don't worry, kid. I'll just be sure to capture your spirit properly this time and reunite you with your dear brother as soon as I've dealt with our other guests.
Yeah, that's right. We're here.
Alchemist.
You know what? You know what? He's been on this journey this whole time. Let's see what he's got.
It's okay, Kim. I'm here to help.
Let's see what you got, kid.
Get your brother back.
Thank you. I'm not afraid of you, demon.
Yeah, let's
I
go.
can see my brother still in there, and I will get him back.
Kim's hands glow a brilliant green, and you watch in shock as his eyes turn gold, a mist of magical energy reaching out like vines to ensnare Ronan. Let's go! Look at you go already! You're already able to do plant bondage on day 2.
What kind of magic is this?
Well, I'll be. Looks like our young friend has learned a new trick.
Quinn, you're really good at this.
Spirit magic.
Wait! Spirit magic?
Kim, how did you...
Yeah, okay, this is definitely not plants then? What's going on here? You see the demon leave Ronan's body. Oh, yeah, you have a moment to strike it. Man, I kind of want to jump in, but like, if this is working, it's working,
Come
baby.
on, Kim. You got this.
I'm not gonna give up on you, brother.
Let's go. Brotherly love, the power of brotherly love. Let's win the day.
I know you've taught me that magic is to be feared, but I've learned that magic isn't wrong or evil. That if I use it right, then it can save people. So I'm going to use it to save you. I'm gonna put you back in control. So show me you really are my great brother who won't bow down to a demon.
There's a flash of light and the echoing scream of a demon's roar. The light fades and Ronan is still standing. Hey, I think you did it, kid. I think we probably could have like jumped in there and worked some wheel magic on it for sure, but why not let the kid take it? I mean, there's something clearly going on here. Our dear pal Quinn stoked something for sure, but I don't know. That again, that wasn't plant magic. He looks up, eyes clearing.
Kim.
Ronan!
Kim rushes over and throws himself into Ronan's arms. The tall man holds him tightly, like the world might snatch his brother away if he loosens his grip.
You stupidly reckless little... What were you thinking? I could have... I almost...
The man grits his teeth and he holds his brother close.
I'm sorry. So sorry.
I mean, we know it wasn't you. We know that it was like your anger and hatred were a conduit to allow a demon to possess you, but I mean, it's understandable where that anger and hate manifested from. And hey, guess what? I think that guy's dead. You all watch from afar as the two brothers are reunited at last.
This is...
You did it? We removed the demon?
You see,
No, it's still there. But Kim somehow put his brother back in control, so he should be safe. For now, at least.
got it.
Well, that's one problem taken care of.
Let's see.
We still need to get rid of all these unwelcome guests. I'm sure this will be a walk in the park. Commanding a giant underground alchemy locket to seal away hundreds of demons at once? Yeah, sure. Real easy.
Wait.
Ronan has composed himself somewhat and joins you, though his hand never leaves his brother's shoulder.
There's something important I think you should know.
Uh-oh.
When I was under that thing's control, I got a good glimpse into his mind. I know it's hard. After everything I did. But he was trying to protect someone dear to him. Just like I was.
We're not gonna try and redeem... Are we really gonna try and redeem a demon here in the last moments? Like, are we really gonna try and do this? Like, I understand what's going on here. What do you mean?
Those demons. They've been trapped beneath the earth for so long. They're furious, of course, but they're also frightened, in pain. Is it possible? Is there any way to resolve this so they don't have to go back to that place?
All right, let's get our 10 most well-behaved demons. Let's all sit at a nice big round table, and let's get them all to agree, yes, we're going to play really nice if you just let us go. If you can get that for me, you know what? I'll buy in.
Look,
We can't just let them roam free. The chaos and damage.
No, I know. I'm not suggesting you let them be free, but then
Oh.
is it possible to end them?
I mean, if all their existence is going to be is suffering, chaos, being hunted, and they're basically already dead, they're just looking for a place. Like, we know that there is a transitory place for heroes to go before they go to the afterlife. Maybe there's some place demons can go before they go to the afterlife. And, you know, like, maybe the demons, again, if these demons are who we think they are, they have a lot of good reasons to be angry. Even though that anger was kind of being redirected by a penis face. Maybe, like, it's time to just give them an end.
Death would be better than whatever that place is.
I kind of agree.
about that.
You know, Elizabeth did sort of teach us a new spell.
That's new.
What are you talking about?
Well,
We didn't have to use it since Kim managed to save Ronan, but Elizabeth showed us how to use the locket to kill by sort of unsealing their souls. That's...
How curious.
That old alchemist really was full of secrets, wasn't she? Yeah, she is like the deus ex machina that allows this story to work. It's quite costly, though, so it's probably not useful, really?
this is amazing.
That's it!
Huh?
Huh?
So,
We can use your new skill to get rid of the demons for real. No sealing them away like another bomb beneath the town, but permanently gone.
really?
But how? Polly and I can't exactly go around and fight every single demon in town. We have to save our energy if we're going to use the giant alchemy puzzle beneath the town to seal away. Oh! Catching on. Instead of sealing the demons away, we'll use the locket beneath town to amplify this destruction spell. The demons won't know what hit them.
This is...
Would that really be able to reach all across town? If it works for the sealing spell, then surely it'll work for this destructive spell too. Though... There's a cost. This is a spirit locket, after all. Of course there is.
Although...
Doing something like this, compared to merely sealing them away, that's going to demand a lot more power. Like how much? Like an amount that will probably drain every demon in Polly's locket and mime as well.
So you are saying, if I give up everything, then all of these spirits will be free?
Mime.
I can do it.
Brother?
I still have the alchemy locket, and if I use the power of the demon inside me...
Oh, we got... You're gonna make us choose between Mime and Ronan.
Probably, but that would re-establish the link between you and the demon. There's no way you would be able to keep him out, and then I don't think you'd survive that.
I am responsible for all of this. If I hadn't interrupted the Outlander, if I hadn't let this demon inside, then the seal wouldn't have broken in the first place. I have to set things right.
Oh. How will you deal with the demons? Ronan sacrifices himself. Mime should sacrifice himself. We're going with the original plan. Ooh. Man, I don't think Ronan did anything here deserving of having to atone for it. Mime is a tough one because despite having a lot of really nice scenes with her, I still literally know nothing about her. I feel like this story has done a very bad job of doing anything with Mime. And I feel like she's kind of a character that is here of convenience. She's here to be here when we need her, and this is the most obvious, oh, Mime needs to be here now, moment. And they didn't earn it. I don't think that This is tough, because this is a narrative thing now for me where I just feel like they kind of dropped the ball on something, and it's really kind of affecting my view of the decision, because I just, again, so what if we get rid of Mime? She's they've done a lot of good and integrating her and giving her cute scenes in the story. Ronan very clearly has a reason to stick around, and even though he did nothing wrong, there's obviously things to atone for. I don't think the original plan is the right way to go either, because I think so we've got to do something, and I think we got to go with Mime.
Mime?
If we do this, the demons will be gone for good? No more pain for anyone?
That is correct, yes.
There has already been so much hurt. I want to end it.
But Mime, this... You can't. You die.
I know, but... I'm the only one who can do this. This way, your brother stays safe. The demons will get to move on in peace, and you... you will be free. So far, I've been running and hiding every time things get dangerous, but this time, I won't run away.
Get in there and sacrifice yourself. Plot device.
I'm so sorry, Mime. That it has to end like this.
Don't be sad. This isn't your fault. It's just how things turned out. I'm grateful, though, for the time we've had together. It's been fun, hasn't it? I mean, apart from the almost dying all the time or running for our lives part.
Oh, so, you know, most of our journey has not been very fun.
You've all given me so much. And I'm ready to give it back now.
You hug Mime close, and the spirit sniffles once.
Thank you for everything, my friend.
You feel the power course through you. The spell is like a wild living thing, and it devours all the power of your locket. Every demon trapped inside fades away. You feel Mime's smile as she too dissolves, and then the spell turns on you, ripping at whatever of you is left before bursting forth into the world. You collapse to the ground. You collapse to the sound of 1,000 souls roaring as they are set free. I feel like they could have I feel like they could have done something nice there, like faded Mime out really slow. You know, I feel like there's something to be said about visual novel language here and using the medium, and I think they could have faded her out really slowly as that text was being read. But her just like, gone. It just kind of felt a little weird. Felt like it undersold the moment a little bit. And so the spell swam through the city, releasing the townsfolk from the demon's hold and setting the spirits free at last. Anemone Valley woke up to a fresh start, and once the demon hunters arrived, they found no traces of magic left behind. Likewise, the heroes responsible for the miracle that had happened were nowhere to be found, leaving the sparrows to tell their tale to befuddled government officials. As the dust settles and your journey comes to an end, you find your mind drifting. You're floating in that space between dream and waking. A sea of color without substance, you drift along in quiet, at peace.
It's time to wake up.
How's it going? The world comes rushing into focus and you open your eyes.
Did you space out again?
Yeah,
darling?
apparently!
I don't think it's polite to be napping at your own celebration party.
Oops! You were sitting in the anemone fields, Quinn, seated beside you, watching you with amusement. What celebrations?
Actually,
Honestly, it's more of a farewell party at this point. Now that the threat of the demons has been dealt with, everyone is splitting up again to go their own paths. It makes sense for us, though, to have one peaceful moment together like this. You've accomplished something quite extraordinary, after all.
Mime?
Where's Mime? I'm sure I heard her voice. There's a flash of sympathy in Quinn's eyes, and they put a hand on your shoulder.
oh dear.
Polly, Mime isn't here anymore, remember? Perhaps your mind is playing tricks on you. Or maybe, she's just there. Maybe she's still there with us. She just has no corporeal form anymore. I just really miss her already. We all do. I must have dozed off for a moment there.
So that's how it is.
I can't really blame you. You must be exhausted. I'd try to stay awake for a while longer, though, and get a word in with everyone here. Who knows when we'll ever get to see each other again once everyone spreads to the winds. What's your plan once all this is over, Quinn? After everything that's happened, I suppose my old normal won't be coming back, and I'm surprisingly okay with that. My customers are already starting to come back, and many new faces are joining them. The fact that my magic was used to revive the dead forest has broken a barrier between us I'd never hoped to cross. For the first time since I've gotten here, I actually feel like I belong.
That's amazing.
That's amazing to hear, Quinn. Congratulations. I couldn't have done it without you, my friend. The future is looking up for this little valley.
Another thing.
It's gonna be quiet when everyone leaves, though. I knew all along that Anne would be leaving for the academy once she got done with her studies here, but it still stings a little. I've made her promise to write more often, though.
That sounds nice.
I hope that no matter what might happen, you'll find happiness in this place.
Thank you.
I already have, my friend. Now don't hang around here. You've got people to talk to. Go on, have fun. Well, so many people. All right. Well, I mean, we know where we're going last. You find Caden at the mines, the tall outlander inspecting the location of his once failed ritual. He smiles when he sees you approach.
I think I might have overindulged on food today, but it was worth it. It's hard to say when I'll get to eat this well again.
So what color do your lines turn when you're just super duper gassy?
I'm going to return to my people soon.
Oh, that's brave.
It's about time I face up to my mistakes. And theirs. If I don't bring back word of what happened here due to their negligence, then nothing will ever change. There's a long way to go, and minds are not changed overnight.
That's true.
But I have to try.
It all starts with a dribble. It all starts with a dribble of water, creating a small wave, and hopefully that expands outward and all that. Again, I wish I was in a state of mind to have the positivity this game has right now, but with the last few months, it's real hard to be positive. It's real hard to have that hope.
I see.
Trying to convince a court of conservative elders to change their ways? Sounds like a party. It'll definitely be a different pace than these last few weeks. But perhaps a bit of old-fashioned bureaucracy will do me good. It's a different sort of challenge. It's quite an achievement we've made. How are you holding up after all this? How are you feeling? I feel a little bit empty, honestly. It's odd that it's over.
How curious.
That makes sense. It's a huge chapter of your life coming to a close. I hope that you find something new to fill the void soon. You deserve it. Man, I know what's gonna be here. We're gonna go to the alley and it's gonna be empty and we're gonna be like, where's my raccoon trash can buddy? And it's gonna be sad. What you doing, Michael? You find Michael sitting beneath a tree, staring at the blackened branches above. Well, well, well! Fancy meeting you here!
The sparrows haven't returned to this place yet.
Oh, I think we can thank Victoria for that.
But I'm sure they will be soon. Singing Rune's latest masterpiece. I wonder if we will be in it. I'm going to miss this place. It had a sort of rustic charm to it. The open road will be quite the change, but a familiar one.
Yeah, you'd miss the thrill of people chasing you without it. That's true. It's going to be a welcome change to have soldiers less capable than our dear Victoria chase me. I'm already getting ideas. I'll sure I'm sure there will be stories worth telling. You've been a most trusted friend through all this. I am grateful for your help.
I'm glad.
I'm grateful for your help as well, Michael. It's been fun, hasn't it? Minus the whole burning of the minus the whole burning of the Empire's history thing. That whole reason for me being here. That wasn't very fun. Now onward to new adventures.
I see you're done napping.
Yep.
I am honestly at a loss for what will happen next.
I am no longer bound to the Empire, but I still wish to change the system. Perhaps I will pull some strings, take a page out of Michael's book, and work from the shadows. As long as I get to do it my way.
That's great.
The Empire has seen no fury like yours. It will be a reckoning for many, I'm sure. So what happened to Alethea? Did she die too in that melee? Obviously Alethea would not be going to, the heroes in there, because obviously I think, it's very clear that she was on the wrong side of things here, but, we've not really heard about her. Unless, the game's gonna do that thing that always happens to me in visual novels where Victoria will be like, oh yeah, Alethea is just hanging out in the bar now.
This is the plan.
I plan on making it so. I almost can't believe we actually did it. That she would be the one to save us in the end.
This is...
Out of all of us, she was the one who turned out to be the greatest hero in the end. I'm proud of her. She's the one that sacrificed the most. I mean, she gave up her entire, existing thing to do so. So I get it. So am I. Her courage has shown me how great things sometimes come from the most unlikely places. I'm sure you still have much to do before the day is over. Go on. Don't let me keep you. Kim and Ronan are standing together, the older brother busy fussing.
And you better remember to write me.
Oh, he's going to the academy.
I've gotten Quinn to help me set it all up, so there's no excuses. I want to know all about what happens while you're away. Doesn't matter that I don't understand any of that magic stuff. Tell me about it anyway.
Fine, Ronan. I promise. Oh, hi there, Alchemist.
Seems like Ronan is having is on full protective brother mode.
You see,
I am a perfectly reasonable amount of protective, thank you very much. I'm grateful my bag isn't very big, or I'd be afraid he'd sneak himself into it. You cheeky little minion. I'm glad I got to see you one last time before I leave, Polly. I'm sure you'll do great, Kim.
Thank you.
I'll do my best.
Actually...
Honestly, I'm starting to look forward to it a little bit. I might even make some new friends there.
hell.
You better write home about those friends, you hear? Don't worry, I'm sure none of them are half as cool as you are. You know it.
Baby brother.
Check out this soul patch. Still rocking it. Hey, baby girl. You find Anne sitting in her chair, furiously scribbling away in a notebook.
Just a second. I need to get these final thoughts down. The final words of my thesis are going to be brilliant. There's no other way of putting it.
She grins and snaps the book closed.
I've already contacted my supervisor and she's setting up my final exam for me. The professors are all very eager to hear my findings. My dream is suddenly within reach. And it's all thanks to you.
Success is guaranteed when you work with such an amazing subject. You are by far the most fascinating research subject I've come across. No doubts about that. So much has happened since I arrived in this town. When I think back on it, I'm horrified that I let myself get dragged into this mess, but some other part of me is grateful. I don't think I'm the same person I was when we started out, but I like this new me.
Well,
I like this version of you too. You smile with a faint blush and Anne grins. Well, that's a relief because you're going to be seeing a lot more of me in the future. Heading back to the academy, I'll soon be busy with lectures and new research projects. I don't think that it'll be that easy for me to come visit, but you know, as a professor, I'm going to have to get a research assistant to help me out. I can't exactly promise the pay will be great or if there'll actually be any at all. Look, payment and being in your lovely presence every day, that's enough for me. Oh, and like, you know, a meal or two a day that would probably be helpful too. Even so, would you be up for the challenge? Always, baby girl. Always, Anne. You just say the word. Thank you. It's not that I actually need the help, of course, but it is nice that I don't have to walk this path alone.
This is amazing.
I know that it won't be easy, but I'm grateful to have you with me, Polly. Aww. The alchemy shop is quiet. Even if Elizabeth is no longer here, you can still feel her calm presence linger in the air. Yep. Think things are over, friends. You close your eyes and breathe in deep and take out the locket that you've been carrying with you for so long. It is dull, any traces of magic gone. You clutch the locket in your hand, feeling its weight settle along with the memory of everything you've been through. When you are ready, you tuck it back safely around your neck and step outside to rejoin your friends.
At last.
And this is how the tale of the Spirit Alchemist comes to a close. Anemone Valley was saved, and the demons once imprisoned were finally set free.
Let's see.
The attempts of the Paragon to keep this incident secret had failed, as news of the death of his knight commander spread to Eridos and further onward into the central capital. With another election coming up, and a movement along the public of growing doubt in his abilities to keep the dark creatures of magic in check, his rivals were smelling blood in the water. But that is all just politics for people who care about such things. Here in this world, we keep politics out of our video games. The real story is what happened to the alchemist and her companions. The city of Anemone Valley was quite the state after the dust had settled. There were those who felt resentful and wished to lash out at all the magic users in retaliation. Such voices, however, were quickly beaten down by those whose hearts had been captured by the kind flower mage Quinn. Their shop became a symbol of hope and new beginnings, and later a place to learn and share knowledge as Quinn began teaching. The mines might have closed, but Anemone Valley bloomed as humans, nature, and magic came together to work towards a brighter future. The flower shop gained a new assistant as well. Ronan wanted to pay back the good the flower mage had done for his brother, and while it may have started as wanting to pay back a debt, their relationship grew into a strong friendship, and together the two of them boldly faced whatever the future might have ahead.
Well,
Victoria left the Knights, finding that her own morals no longer aligned with their way of doing things. With her detailed knowledge of the inner workings of both the Knights and the Demon Hunters, she began digging on her own, and with the unexpected help of certain chaotic mage, they began unraveling the corruption of Eridos from the shadows, never giving up on the idea that with enough tenacity, she could make Eridos a better place.
how interesting.
Michael traveled south and left behind the burned Archivist's library. He spends his days in leisure, occasionally checking in on Kim at the Mage Academy, all in secret, of course. There were still days where the darkness of the world felt suffocating to the chaotic mage, but the strength and support of his friends were always there to pull him back towards the light. And he had never felt better.
You know...
Anne returned to the Seven Winds Academy and presented her findings before an awed panel of professionals. Her discoveries on how mages' souls could be used to fuel spirit lockets were met with grim apprehension. However, the quality of her research could not be questioned. She was immediately granted her title as professor and youngest to be recorded in history, and she began her work, teaching with a new generation of tinker mages. Using her newfound position, she brought her lover Polly into the academy as her assistant. Though the alchemist was mainly working from the shadows, letting Anne take the reins for her alchemic achievements, the two of them were inseparable and the source of many giggles and rumors among the students.
At last.
Caden returned to his people with the remains of the sword that he had stolen. As he feared, their reception wasn't joyous. But the young outlander, who had stared down an army of demons, was no longer focused on their approval. He recounted his discoveries with candor and gravity that shook the outlander's perception of their role in the continent. Their inability to act had almost doomed them all. His story wouldn't uproot thousands of years of tradition, but it did impress certain individuals. As punishment, it was decided that he would work in the service of the Nightwalkers, something Caden vehemently refused at first. However, once he realized there were allies among them who would wish to reform as well, he grasped this opportunity to change his home from within. The end.
Indulge me.
So, what do you think, Madam Alchemist? Did I do the story justice? You did a wonderful job, Rune, as always. I'm sure this story will be a popular one of yours for years to come.
Happy to oblige.
You flatter me. Oh, you do get to come here now? Okay. It is time, my love.
I see.
Oh, yes. I suppose we have been lingering here long enough.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rune, for indulging an old woman's curiosity.
Happy to oblige.
It has been an honor. Safe travels, Madam Alchemist.
Thank you, dear.
You as well.
You know...
You've been awfully quiet, little one. Did you like the story? I think you have a tendency to exaggerate the details. The mark of a true storyteller, wouldn't you agree? Perhaps. It was a wonderful story either way.
Thank you.
Thank you. As one of the leading roles, I appreciate your feedback most of all. I suppose that means you will be leaving with the others soon?
Well...
I might, though I have become quite fond of these stories of yours. Think you'll share another with me for the road?
Happy to oblige.
Of course. Let's see which one to pick. Oh, I know.
It all began...
Near the southern shore, deep within the evergreen forest, lies a very special school shielded from the world outside. A school that teaches magic. My guess is that's probably where Arcadia Fallen 2 begins. All right, just kind of gathering some final thoughts here before I see if there's any kind of post-credit scene. All right, it looks like... What do we got in here? What's in extras? It's flower crown for mime. Oh, okay, so you can just like have this if you choose to. Does it appear on the title screen? Oh, okay, no, I didn't figure it would because that's a static image more than likely. All right. So, final thoughts. Let's see. So, I think that if we're gonna go for like the big picture overall opinion on things, I'm not gonna say I was blown away. And I think that it would also be disingenuous to say that this game is bad in any way. I enjoyed myself a lot. For a game in a setting that I am not typically all that keen on, I had a pretty good time. And this game actually ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would be, but despite its length, it still felt like really tightly put together. And I feel like it's actually scoped really well. It never felt like it was trying to punch above its weight or be overly epic or too ambitious in ways that would have just fallen flat with the small story that they're telling here. I really like the messaging that gets weaved into the narrative and how that applies to the world, and how incisive the commentary is on modern society's willingness to throw away its history because it's inconvenient and ugly. This is a game that I went into thinking that, oh, this is going to be a cute little crafting sim. We're gonna help villagers. There'll be a cute little story, maybe a little conflict, but I didn't think that it would go as big as it did. I was blindsided by how real this game got and how willing it was to make decisions that mattered, and that the stakes actually felt genuine. The role-playing aspect, where yet all of these decisions you're making with like these certain types of answers that you can give that seem to shape your personality, all of that stuff felt really cool. Like I really wonder though, I really wonder, like, under the hood, like how much of my character's choices and personality affected things. There are obvious points in the story where I think you can absolutely mess things up and miss out on certain side quests, like getting the forest fixed and all that. But I wonder how big the repercussions for that kind of thing are, or if it just kind of happens anyway, but without your involvement. You know, Quinn seems pretty important to the story, but I wonder if you don't engage with that part of the story, if they're not as much of a part of the finale as they ended up being. It definitely felt like characters were reacting to how I chose to react to situations most of the time. There's a lot of things that obviously, like, they seem determined by how straightforward or quippy that I was. Like, they were obvious, people were reacting in different ways, or like they would react in different scenes because, oh, I'm kind of just being the little one-liner goblin here, and people just kind of expected that of me. So I wonder how much of that stuff is really just like really good flavoring, or you know, like if they just kind of pulled one over on me, and it's just like, oh, we just kind of had a really good the idea that people would play the character this way. I think that the game's strength is its characters. Its voice acting is incredible. The voice direction is solid throughout. Everyone was really fun to engage with and interact with, and they all had really solid arcs throughout the entire story that I felt got wrapped up really well, minus one specific instance, which I think I'll probably talk about here in a minute, which I literally brought up early in the video, but we'll talk about it. I mentioned in earlier videos that I think the character writing makes the characters feel really honest to themselves. Like, even when you're like buttering them up to try to get on their good side, they still kind of stick to their guns, even though you will eventually win them over. But they always still retain the core of who they are. They don't feel like they become entirely different and unrecognizable people by the end. I think the biggest whiff of the story is I think they just dropped the ball entirely on mime. unfortunately, in the end, she just kind of ends up feeling like a plot device to me that they could pull out at any point where they needed to save a situation or they needed to make a moment work. She is a fun companion. I loved all the interactions with her. It was really fun, but I don't like the fact that there was just never a big moment or a reveal with her, other than the fact that you can glom onto the fact that she is obviously the god of the forest, the deer god's daughter. Like, you obviously get that, but the fact that there's just like nothing else, and it kind of feels like she was just kind of being held in the pocket because this is going to be how we get out of a situation if the player chooses to go that way. Obviously, I think we probably could have chosen to sacrifice Ronan or go with the original plan, but it felt like sacrificing her was the right thing to do because, like, that's just where it was in the moment. But again, I don't know whether maybe they'll say more about her in Arcadia Fallen 2, or they were just holding that in the pocket or something, but I wish I had felt more of a connection to her than I did, because again, she just kind of ended up feeling like a plot device to me that was there for convenience, unfortunately. She's an absolutely pleasant and wonderful character to interact with, but in terms of her part in the story, I feel like they just whiffed that majorly. But overall, this was good. I obviously would not have finished this if I wasn't having a good time. I got weirdly into the alchemy puzzles. I didn't think that would happen. That never happens with me. But again, I needed to get all the stars. And even though we had a misfire and I forgot to save, we still went back and did it anyway because it was important. And I think that aspect of the game was a nice little bit of fun. But overall, this is a solid little game. Again, it didn't blow me away, but I was surprised many times at how delightful it was, or the direction that it chose to take. I didn't expect it to get as dark as it did. I didn't expect the role playing to actually matter as much as it did. Like there are so many things where I kind of want to just go look it up and see, like, can you fail the trial? Can you get Michael killed? Like, how many things can go wrong, and like how much did the developers actually account for here, or is the illusion of choice, just really well done? But this is solid. I would recommend this to anybody that wants a really fun fantasy visual novel. This and Queen Beast, I put them kind of in a similar category. I would probably put Queen Beast above this one, which is also free, by the way. If you ever want to play a really solid 90s OVA inspired visual novel, Queen Beast is free on itch, and the quality is insane for having been created by one person. But I do believe that is going to do it for Arcadia Fallen. I had a good time. I hope you had a good time. Thank you so much for coming along for the ride, and I hope you have a nice rest of your wherever you are. And maybe we'll see each other somewhere down the line for another adventure together. You have a good one, and we'll catch you around. Bye!